Okay. Appeal of Sunny Township is Carrie Hellman, case number 21T120236. Citation issued on June the 15th of this year at 618 Pinewood for violation of township ordinance regarding chickens in a residential area. Officer Greenwood, are you ready to proceed, or do you have a proposed resolution at this time?
I did go by the property yesterday. I did not see any chickens at that time. I guess my question for the defendant is, have they removed the chickens from the property?
Yes, we have.
Okay. At this point, Your Honor, then what I would propose is, I would like to offer up, if they admission of guilt, I will dismiss the fines and fees for the ticket that was issued.
Okay. All right. So, and the plan, of course, I presume, is not to get additional chickens there. Is that right?
No, I would like to explain if I could, if
Sure. Yeah.
that's
Go ahead.
okay.
Yeah. So let me run through what your options are, just so you're aware of everything. So the township made an offer for an admission responsibility. It's a civil infraction. If you admit responsibility to it, either with or without an explanation, they would be amenable to the court waiving the fines, which the court would do based upon that recommendation. You do have the option of contesting the matter too. You could deny responsibility and ask for a hearing on it. Those are sort of your options. But if you just want to admit responsibility and give an explanation, the township's already indicated they would support a waiver of the fines if that's the route you wanted to take.
Yeah, and I understand that. You know, I am admitting that we did have chickens. When I first spoke with the officer, the first time when he asked me, we did not. However, I was a teacher at that time, and our school chickens were abandoned, and I stepped up to the plate and took the little baby chicks inside. I had them for a few months, and in the meantime, things exploded with a neighbor of mine, and it has become a situation of continual harassment. And even though she knew I had gotten rid of the chickens, she's still calling on me about them. And you know, she knew from the start that, you know, I was just trying to rehome them, that they were my, you know, the science class project, and that it wasn't going to be something that was permanent. And you know, during coronavirus, the farmer that was supposed to take them didn't, so it took me a while longer to find them. And in the meantime, my son became incredibly attached to one of them. So we have, she became like his hand-raised chick, and has been certified as his support animal. They are all living at a farm right now, but I didn't know if there was any kind of way that he could have his support chicken as a variance that lives, you know, she has an aviary where she's at now. She's not integratable into a flock because she was hand raised. The rest of the chicks all did fine, and they're all fine at the farm, but this one chicken is the one that, you know, is really my son bonded with. And I have a letter from his social worker, and he is here if you'd like to talk to him. I just didn't know if there was any way that we could work that out to do that legally. Because as it stands now, we're getting the chicken, visiting the chicken, going there, bringing it over for a visit, and bringing it back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Officer Greenwood, is that something, that conversation you could have with these folks offline?
Yeah. What I could recommend she would need to contact Belinda, who is the head of our zoning department. I don't have the ability to make that call. I know that the ordinance basically states unless you have at least an acre of land, you can't have a chicken at a residential property.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's registered as a emotional support animal. I'm not really sure how that would work. But what I would recommend is if they contact Belinda, and like I said, she's the head of our zoning. She may be able to give you that answer, or at least give you some options as to what you may be able to do.
Okay.
I don't have that answer, and I don't want to give you guys the wrong advice. She would be the best person to talk to.
Okay. If, you know, she wears a diaper and a leash when she visits, if I have her here visiting me on her diaper and leash, and someone reports me I wanted to show to you, she's not living here. We don't have a coop. She visits every couple weeks if we're
Yeah,
lucky. I just wanted to put that out there. I've always tried to do everything straight and narrow. I'm a member of the DAR and the American Legion and the Moose, and I'm a teacher. And, this is horrifying to me that I'm in this situation because it was never my intention to break the law.
No, you're fine, and certainly the circumstances are very understandable. As Officer Greenwood indicated, I think your first step is to get a hold of the gal over at the township and just initiate that conversation and kind of get the ball rolling from there. Would be the best thing to do as far as that goes. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, fine. There's no fine on this matter. It's an admission responsibility with an explanation, and fines and costs are waived. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, you folks have a good day. Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you, Officer Greenwood. Have a
you're
great
welcome.
day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
I think we have one more scheduled for 11 o'clock today. But I don't know if I do know this one just needs to be pushed out. I have a follow-up inspection scheduled for 8/10 of 21. So they won't be ready for court today.
Okay, that's Bernstein.
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't spoke to him about pushing it out, but I do know that it needs to be pushed out probably one more time.
Okay. When do you go back out?
8/10/21.
8/10. Okay, let me look at my calendar here. Okay. So I'll put this on the 12th or the 19th.
Could we do the 19th that way, just in case if there's anything else that needs to be done, it kind of gives them a little bit of a window to get it done and me getting back out there to take a look at it.
Yeah, that's fine. So if they appear at 11, I'll inform them of that. Otherwise, we'll mail them a notice.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You as well. Eng Hong,
Yes, good morning.
good morning. All right, Deputy McQueen, you with us?
Good morning, Magistrate.
Morning. All right, Phillips County Township is Eng Hong. It's case number 21W001647. Citation was issued on June 28th of this year on North Prospect Adder Holmes Road. The citation is impeding traffic, which is a non-moving 0-point violation. So let's see. For the defendant, you have three options on how you may proceed here. The first option is to admit responsibility without an explanation. In other words, you simply want to pay the citation and be done with it. And the court can give time to pay if that's necessary. The second option is to admit responsibility with an explanation. The court will take the explanation into consideration. If there are any mitigating factors in that explanation, that may be taken into consideration with regard to the fines and costs. The court does not have discretion with regard to points on your license, but this is a 0-point citation, and it will not appear on your driving record as it was written. Or your third option is to deny responsibility. If you choose to deny responsibility, the court will then take sworn testimony both from the deputy and yourself. Based upon a preponderance, which is a standard of proof, meaning roughly 51% to either side, the court will then make a determination as to whether or not you are responsible for the civil infraction. Do you have any questions with regard to these three options?
No, Your Honor.
And how do you wish to proceed today?
I'd like to dispute the traffic violation citation that issued to me, and I would like to provide some evidences. This is why I dispute the citation.
Okay, would you both please raise your right hand to be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you provide today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter before the court today?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. All right, so the way these hearings operate is the court will take testimony from both parties. The deputy will provide his testimony first, and the defendant will have an opportunity to respond. Court does ask that both parties refrain from interrupting each other. If there's questions for the other party, please direct those questions to the court and not directly to each other. All right, deputy, you may proceed.
On the morning in question, I was driving a fully marked patrol vehicle in the area of Holmes and Prospect when I observed Mr. Hong's vehicle disregard the traffic signal at Prospect and Holmes. I initiated a traffic stop. I noticed that Mr. Hong's, I believe his muffler was hanging off the ground as well. He told me he had his emergency lights on, said he had some issues with his car, and was on the way back home. I said he didn't realize that he had gone through the red light when I made after speaking to him after making the traffic stop.
And so this it's a four-way intersection, correct?
Correct.
And when the red light, the light was clearly red at the time he went through it. From your
Correct. It was.
observation?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it was green for me when he had went through it.
Okay, yeah, so you were coming from the other direction?
Correct. I was coming from Holmes. He was coming from Prospect.
Okay. And did you need to deviate your course of travel or brake or anything like that?
I did not. I did not have to brake or anything like that.
Did any other vehicles have to change their course of traffic or brake?
No, magistrate.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hong, what do you want to tell the court?
What Officer McQueen just described is accurate, and I would like to provide some evidence to show that the traffic light at the intersection of Prospect and Home was malfunctioning when officer cited me for that violation.
Okay, how was it malfunctioning?
It was malfunctioning because it doesn't have the what the people would refer to as all red time. Now, usually all traffic lights at the intersection would have about 1 second to a few seconds of all red before before the traffic light at the crossroad turned green. I've gone back to that intersection and did some captured some video clips that I would like to show as an evidence of the traffic light malfunctioning.
Okay. And when were you there last?
I captured the video clips on July the 6th, and then on July the 7th, then I went to 14B District Court to file my disagreement to get a court date to dispute this citation.
Okay. Did you return back to that intersection on June 28th to make any observations at that time?
No, I did not. I was ready.
Okay, so you're asking the court to extrapolate that if it wasn't working in July, it would not have been working in June. Is that what I'm understanding?
I'm sorry. That question.
You're breaking up, Mr. Hong. Did you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I did. Did you hear my question to you?
No, I did not. Can you repeat?
Certainly. Yeah. Yeah. So you would be extrapolating then if it was not working in July, that it in fact was not working in June as well. That's the inference you're making?
Yes, I did not go back to the traffic light to capture the video clips of the malfunctioning traffic light on the day or the day after I was issued that citation.
Okay. All right. So, and to your knowledge, has the traffic light been altered or changed since you made your last observations there?
I did not go back and do a follow-up. I only captured a few video clips that lasted about 101 seconds to show court that the traffic light is malfunctioning.
Okay.
I believe if the city hasn't corrected the issue, it is still the way it is, malfunctioning.
Okay. Did you report this to the county road commission?
No, Your Honor, I don't know who to report it to.
Okay, all right. So what the court will do is based on the testimony provided, the court will go out there and make observations of its own. Yeah, I'm not satisfied on the face of it that if there's that what you've described would be a malfunction, but the court will make the observations and do the research on that. If the court determines the traffic light is operating properly, then the court does find the citation was issued properly because the entering the intersection when the other course of traffic had the right of way would have resulted in impeding the ability of that traffic to enter the intersection. So the traffic citation would have been properly issued. So if the court does not find that there's any material issue with the function of the traffic light, then the court would find you responsible for the citation. If there's an issue with the traffic light, then that would be a different outcome. But just want to explain to you the rationale for the outcome. And what we'll do then is I'll take a look at it and issue a written judgment that will be mailed out to you either, in the positive or the negative. If we rule against you, of course, can appeal that decision by contacting the court to request an appeal. If we rule in your favor, then of course the matter is closed. Okay.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you still on Somerset Lane?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Give me a day or two to go out. Probably tomorrow will be the day the court will be able to go out and make some observations out there for themselves, and then at that point make a determination and mail a judgment form to you at that point. Okay.
That's all right, Your Honor. It's just that I would like to remind that the traffic light malfunctioning is due to it doesn't have that all red time.
Okay. That's what I will take a look for, and then we'll make a determination as to what one whether it's doing that, two whether that's a requirement. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hall, you have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Magistrate Nelson.
Was that all you had today, Deputy McQueen?
Yes,
All right, second. Have a good day.
thank you.
Can I leave this?
Oh, yes, Mr. Hall, you're all set. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
You too.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Let me get your file, Mr. Johnson. Hang on just a moment. All right. Still state of Michigan versus Cameron Johnson, case number 21S3918908. Citation issued on July 4th of this year on Rawsonville Adderner Grove, operating while reading, typing, sending a text message. All right. Trooper, you ready to proceed, or do you have a proposed resolution at this time?
Ready to proceed, sir.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, you have three options available to you in this type of citation. Your first option is to admit responsibility without an explanation. In other words, you simply want to pay the citation and be done with it. The second option is to admit responsibility with an explanation. The court will take the explanation into consideration if there are any mitigating factors in that explanation that may be taken into consideration with regard to fines and costs. The court does not have discretion with regard to points on your license. Or you may deny responsibility. Choose to deny responsibility, court will then take sworn testimony both from the trooper and yourself based upon a preponderance, which means roughly 51% to either side. The court will then make a determination as to whether or not you are responsible for the citation. Do you have any questions with regard to these three options?
No questions.
Okay, and how do you wish to proceed today?
I take responsibility.
Okay, did you want to provide an explanation?
Yeah, I thought it was at a red light and I wasn't moving. But
Okay. All right. Yeah, so the threshold is, is operating the vehicle, whether you're stopped or not. I mean,
Oh, okay.
obviously in your parking lot, you're parked, you're no longer operating, but that's the threshold. Okay. All right. Is that essentially what you were told at the stop, Trooper?
Your Honor, so that's what I was told. However, when I observed this vehicle, I observed the driver, which is Mr. Johnson, have his phone up, and he had it in the center of his vehicle, so I was able to see it from my patrol vehicle behind him. The vehicle's brake lights went off at the traffic light. The vehicle started to roll forward, and that's when the phone went down.
Okay. All right, court's taking explanation consideration and will reduce the fine to a, check something real quick. Hang on a second. All right, so currently a $240 fine. The court will reduce that to a $160 fine. Are you able to pay that online today, sir? Or did you need time to pay it?
Yeah, I can pay it online. Was there any points or was there no points? I wasn't sure.
I believe texting is a 0-point citation.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but either way, wouldn't have any discretion to deal with the points. But I think that's a no-point violation. All right, so what's going to happen next, Mr. Johnson, is in an hour or so, you should receive an email from the court with a link to our online payment system. Once you've received that, go ahead and follow that link, and that'll give you instructions on how to make the payment. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, stay safe, sir. Thank you. All right, Trooper, did you have anything else today?
Yes, sir. I have 3 other ones.
3 other ones. Okay, let me track those down. Running everything by myself here today, so it's a little clunky. All right, Eubanks and Dario.
Yes, sir. Eubanks, Dario, and Jones.
Okay. Let's see. I have Dario. There's Dario. Okay. All right, you're just muted now. You need to unmute yourself. Should be a little microphone icon at the bottom of your screen. You're muted. We can't hear you. If you can hear me, there's a little microphone icon at the bottom of your screen.
Let's see. Look,
There. Oh, you just muted again. There you go.
now am I good? Oh, yeah, now I'm
All right.
good.
Yep. All right. Good morning.
Thank you. Hi,
All
good morning.
Appeal of State of Michigan versus Jeffrey Dario, case number 21S390553. Citation issued on June 22nd of this year on I-94 at or near Huron Street. Failed to yield to a stationary emergency vehicle. All right, Trooper, will you ready to proceed, or do you have a proposed resolution at this time?
I'm ready to proceed, sir.
All right. Mr. Dario, you have 3 options available to you in this type of citation. Your first option is to admit responsibility without an explanation. In other words, you simply want to pay the citation, and the court can give time to pay if that's needed. Your second option is to admit responsibility with an explanation. The court will take the explanation into consideration if there are any mitigating factors in that explanation that may be taken into consideration with regard to fines and costs, although this type of citation has a required minimum fine. And your third option is to deny responsibility. Choose to deny responsibility. Court will make sworn testimony both from the trooper and yourself. Based upon a preponderance, which means roughly 51% to either side is a standard of proof, the court would then make a determination as to whether or not you are responsible for the civil infraction. Do you have any questions with regard to these three options?
No, sir.
And how do you wish to proceed today?
I'd like to admit responsibility with explanation.
Okay, go ahead and tell us what happened that day.
So my sister and brother-in-law were in town visiting. They had just showed up at my place in Ypsilanti, actually in Belleville, excuse me. I used to live in Ypsilanti. We were on our way to sort of my dad's birthday celebration up in the Flint area. I think, you know, in the course of excitement, you know, I probably wasn't paying close enough attention to what was going on. But I would like to say that, and I didn't explain that to the officer at the time. I didn't know what to explain to the officer, to be honest. I should have been more aware of the things going on the road. There's no doubt about that. After the officer had, after we wrapped things up, my sister and her and brother-in-law, we spoke about it, and their input, which they refrained from bringing up at the time, where we were talking to the officer, was that there was quite a bit of traffic on the expressway that day. They didn't think I had the opportunity to get over to merge into the other lane due to the you know, amount of traffic at the time. I honestly, I wish I could say that I understood that as well, or I knew that as well, but I really didn't. But that was their comment to me about it. You know, obviously many wrongs doesn't make it right. We saw many vehicles failing to, you know, move over while we were pulled over, and even as we continued driving ahead, there were other. I think there was a broken down vehicle with a service truck helping, and you know, heavy traffic. There was no way people were going to be able to get over. So I do admit that I'm at fault. Normally I'm very cognizant of that situation, I'd like to say. But on this particular occasion, I just wasn't, unfortunately, as aware as I should have been.
The court appreciates that. So, and there's a reason. There's two options you have when you come across this situation. The first and the best option, of course, is to merge over into the further out lane. The other option is to slow. If you can't move, just for future reference, if you can't move over, then the obligation is to slow down significantly.
Absolutely, I got it.
Okay. All right, Trooper, anything you needed to add?
Yes, sir. I'd just like to add that in reviewing the video, I observed Mr. Dario's vehicle actually pass a tractor trailer while it was in the right lane, in between the tow truck that was on the right shoulder and the tractor trailer. So I beg to differ that Mr. Dario didn't have time to move over for traffic if he slowed down.
Okay. Oh, so this is this was a tow truck issue, not okay. Not that it matters, but that's okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Also, well, just to add for my own future, it is a wake up call to me. I may not even realize that the rule applied to tow trucks. As a matter of fact, I mean, I tend to. Whether you know, obviously people can say what they want to say, but in many cases, I think I try to be extra cautious if I do see even just a car pulled over, right? You know, but I honestly didn't even realize the law applied to traffic vehicle or tow truck vehicles until after the incident. So it is a wake up call.
Anything with a flashing light on it, basically. You know, I mean, there's a, you know, obviously road workers, you know, an SOS car out there providing us aid. Anything with flashing lights out there is the obligation to slow and move over.
I see.
So as I said, when I was telling you what your options were, the legislature's actually stripped us of authority to make any change to the fine here. So it's a mandatory $495 fine, unfortunately.
Okay.
Do you need time to pay that?
No, I do not.
Okay, so you get an email from the court later on today with a link to go ahead and make that payment. Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Sounds
so you're
good.
all set. All right, stay safe. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Hey, real quick, just from a driving record perspective, I'm also curious. I don't know what the ramifications are from that perspective.
I believe it's carried. I believe it's a 0-point violation. Trooper, do you know?
I'm unaware, sir. I do not know.
Yeah, I believe it's a 0-point violation. I believe that there was sort of some give and take on that when they took away our ability to change the fine. I think they allowed it to be a 0-point violation, but
I see.
but that's that I think. I don't quote me
I
on
see.
this for certain. Okay.
And if it wasn't, I would be subjected to those points.
Any points that would be attached to it would come along with you. Although Secretary of State does have some programming to remove points. If you're eligible, they would notify you of that. You get a letter
Okay.
from the Secretary of State telling you how
Okay.
you would remove the points. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All
Thank you
right.
very much.
Thank you, sir. Stay safe.
Yep. You too. Bye-bye.
Let's see. Eubanks was another year's, right? Go on, Eubanks. So I gave you some instruction on the bottom of your screen there. Okay. Here's Ms. Eubanks. Yeah. While he's working out, let me see. There we go. Mr. Eubanks, you hear us?
Yes.
All right, excellent. Good afternoon. Good morning.
Good morning.
So your People State of Michigan versus DeJuan Eubanks, case number 21S39222235. Citation was issued on July 5th of this year on I-94 Edgar Harris, following too closely. Trooper, you ready to proceed, or do you have a proposed resolution this time?
Ready to proceed, sir.
All right. Mr. Eubanks, you have three options available to you at this point in time. Your first option is to admit responsibility without an explanation. In other words, you simply want to pay the citation. The court can give time to pay if that's necessary. Your second option is to admit responsibility with an explanation, where we'll take the explanation into consideration. Should there be any mitigating factors in that explanation, that may be taken into consideration with regard to fines and costs. The court, however, does not have discretion with regard to points on your license as a function of the Secretary of State. Or your third option is to deny responsibility. Should you choose to deny responsibility, court will then take sworn testimony both from the trooper and yourself. Based upon a preponderance, meaning roughly 51% to either side as a standard of proof, the court will then make a determination as to whether or not you are responsible for the civil infraction. Do you have any questions with regard to these three options?
Could you repeat that one more time, sir? I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. So your first option is simply admitting responsibility and asking to pay the citation. The second
Okay.
option is admitting responsibility with an explanation. The court would take that explanation into consideration and could possibly lower the fine based upon the explanation, but has no discretion in regard to points on your license. And your third option is a denial of responsibility. If you choose to deny responsibility, that would be a hearing where the court would take sworn testimony both from yourself and the trooper. And the standard of proof that the court looks at is a preponderance of the evidence, meaning roughly 51% either side, to determine whether or not you are responsible for the civil infraction. Do you have any questions on those options?
Sounds like leaning towards 2.5 to 3.
2.5. So there is no 2.5, but
So
yeah,
I will go.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just say two. You know, you can talk about it a little bit, and there's some discretion there. 3 sort of an all or nothing proposition.
3.
Okay. So you like to deny responsibility?
Correct.
All right. Would you both please raise your right hand to be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you provide to? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you provide to will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter before the court today?
I do.
I do.
Okay, thank you. All right, sir, I'll hear from the trooper first and give you an opportunity to respond. Ask that both parties refrain from interrupting each other. If there are questions for the other party, please direct those to the court. And matters, if the question is relevant, the court will have it answered. All right, trooper, you may proceed.
Your Honor, Trooper Ryan, Michigan State Police, Brighton Post, on the 5th of July at around 4:05 p.m. I was on patrol on I-94 at the median near Rossville Road when I observed a white Ram ProMaster van with the American Red Cross logo on the side, later determined to be driven by Mr. Eubanks, following a dark-colored vehicle too close, westbound, in the left lane of travel. I turned around in this vehicle and ended up conducting a traffic stop on this vehicle near Harris Road. Mr. Eubanks said he was headed to Ann Arbor from Detroit, dropping off blood on an emergency, and he didn't have any sort of explanation as to why he was flying the vehicle too close. This violation was captured on video, and if it would please the court, I'd like to show the video.
Okay, let me see if I can make that happen. I believe you should be able to share your screen.
Your Honor, this is the defendant's vehicle where the cursor is.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Eubanks, do you have any response?
Yes, sir. That particular day on July 5th of 2021, at that designated time, as the officer had mentioned, that was the day, actually one day after the holiday, westbound 94. We were all packed. I believe we were all packed on that freeway. Maybe a half a mile to my exit, I was trying to get over. And that's when I realized the officer was behind me. What I kind of feel like by me also being in the American Red Cross van, I felt like I shouldn't have been the only one that was pulled over. Like I said, we were in the fast lane. So we were all packed on that freeway that particular day on that holiday day.
Right. Were you able to see the video he showed?
Say it again.
Were you able to see the video that he showed on the screen?
Kind of, sorta.
Okay. Did you want him to play it again?
Sure.
Okay. Let me reestablish screen share.
Defendant's vehicle right there.
All right. So, anything else, Mr. Eubanks?
Yes, also see here, there was a second additional charge of the no proof of registration on the American Red Cross van. When I tried to,
That was issued as a warning. So, I mean, you can go ahead and say what you want to say about it, but it's not relevant. I mean, it was just simply a warning. What do you want to say about
no, sir, go ahead.
it? Okay. All right. Court, having taken testimony and viewed the video, you'll see that there's while there was a large amount of traffic there, the rest of the traffic was able to maintain very safe and proper spacing. The spacing there was definitely following too closely as cited. Court find the defendant responsible. It's a $130 fine. You do have 7 days to appeal my decision, sir. If you choose to do that, you can contact the court and the court can give you the appeal process. Are you able to pay that online, or did you need some time to pay it?
Could you repeat that one more time, sir? I'm sorry.
Sure. Yeah. You have 7 days to appeal my decision. If you want to appeal the charge or the decision, you can contact the court and the clerks can give you that appeal process.
And what was your final decision, sir?
Oh, that you were responsible for the citation based upon the observations in the video. While there was heavy traffic, everybody else was able to maintain safe spacing, and you were not in a position of maintaining safe spacing. So today is the 29th. Court will put a pay by date on this of August the 13th.
And then what is the total amount cost, sir?
$130. Is that enough time, or did you need more time?
No, sir. What's the?
All right. So the court will email you a link to our online payment system.
Okay.
If you're not going to appeal the decision, you can go ahead and make that payment anytime between now and August 13th. If you are going to appeal, just call the court and the clerks can walk you through that process. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, also, Mr. Eubanks, stay safe. Okay.
Thank you, you too.
All right. I don't have a Jones listed, but I have some unknown folks. So let's see who we have. Good morning. Your name, please. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Your name, please.
Jay Smith.
Jay Smith. Okay.
Yes.
Let me get you named here. Okay. Not quite ready to call your case, but now that I know who you are, I'm going to just slide you back into the waiting room. And when I'm ready to call your case back, I'll bring you back. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Your name, please. The phone ending in 5908. Is anybody there?
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name, please.
Leonardo Antonio Galino Aguirre.
Give me just a second. Aguirre is your last name?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm not quite ready to call your case, but now that I know who you are, I'm going to put you back in the waiting room. When I'm ready to call your case, I'll bring you back in, okay?
All right.
We'll talk to you in a few minutes. Morning, on the iPad, your name, please?
Good morning. My name is Christopher Martin.
Martin, okay.
Oh, sorry. Let me change my name. I'm so sorry. That's from a D&D session. That's very embarrassing.
No problem.
1 second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's your name, sir? I can change it.
I'm having trouble hearing you. 1 second. Oh, sorry. My shoot.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can. I'm
Okay,
so
what's your name?
sorry.
I can change your name. What's your name?
Nicholas Galenda. Sorry, that was from a D&D session. That's very embarrassing.
No problem. Don't worry about it. How do you spell your last name?
Kolenda.
Okay. All right. Okay, both of you gentlemen, I'm going to talk to the state trooper here for just a second, and then I'll find your officers and get you going. So just hang tight where you are, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Appeal State of Michigan versus Marissa Jones, 21S3901280. Defendant appears to not have appeared. We don't have a name. All parties in the waiting room are named and not there. Trooper, did you want a default judgment in this matter?
Yes, sir.
Okay, default judgment will enter. Thank you, Trooper. Have a good day.
Thanks, sir. You too.
Over. So you say your name is Christopher Martin?
Yes, sir.
I don't see a Martin on my docket. Do let me see. Are you here for a correct traffic matter?
I'm here due to someone's contesting a ticket I wrote up at one of the parks.
Oh, you're the, okay, that explains it. Thank you. Okay. You're on, I was looking on the wrong end. I was looking at defendants' names. All right. Okay, same for you, Mr. Kalenda. You also wrote a ticket?
Correct. For one, Elizabeth Nicole Forrester, I believe her name
Okay.
is.
Yep, and I've got her here, so let me bring her in and we'll go from there. And then Ms. Castle-Hine wanted to be admitted for these as well, so I'll bring her in. Ms. Forrester, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just get your ticket. I'll be with you in just a second, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. There we go. Phillips Lane Township versus Elizabeth Forrester, case number 21T11955. The citation was on June the 5th of this year at Ford Lake Park for parking in boat designated area. All right. Mr. Kalenda, are you ready to proceed in this matter this morning?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Ms. Forrester, you have three options available to you in a civil infraction like this. Your first option is to admit responsibility without an explanation, in other words, you simply want to pay the ticket and be done with it. Your second option is to admit responsibility with an explanation. The court will take the explanation into consideration if there are any mitigating factors in that explanation that may be taken into consideration with regard to the fine, or you may deny responsibility. If you choose to deny responsibility, the court will then take sworn testimony both from yourself and the individual issued the citation. Based upon a preponderance, which is the standard of proof, meaning roughly 51% either side, the court will then make a determination as to whether or not you are responsible for the civil infraction. Do you have any questions with regard to these three options?
No.
And how do you wish to proceed today?
I guess the second one.
Okay, what happened that day?
So my husband and I took our boat out, and I had my car because I had my 2-year-old daughter, and the road that I parked in, there were multiple other cars parked there without boat trailers. And I'm going to admit, up until that day, I always parked there. We take 2 cars just because there's times that I leave before him. And I got there about 9 o'clock that morning. And when I parked and got out, I sat and had a conversation with a DNR officer as well as another Washtenaw County Sheriff officer. And again, there were multiple cars parked next to me without boat trailers. And nobody told me to move. And I assumed that the road that I was parked in was not for boat trailers because I've never seen all the cars that I've ever seen parked there. None of them ever have trailers.
Right. Yeah, it's
And
sort of a chronic problem there. That's why I think it's an issue.
and somebody was parked next to me that was actually with us. They parked at the same time as me and left after me, and they received the ticket.
I'm going to stop the video because that helps your bandwidth with what you're saying. You're breaking up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Did I understand you correctly that the car parked next to you did not receive a ticket?
No.
Okay. All right. And you understand moving forward that you'll need to park in the car lot?
They were parked there all day.
Ms. Forrester, I don't know if you moved a little bit or what the situation is, but I can't hear you anymore.
Yeah,
There, that's
I've been
better.
back out there a couple times. I've had my car.
Okay. All right. Okay. Mr. Kalinda, are you out there frequently patrolling this area?
Usually when I am working, I patrol, well, I oversee about 6 other parks or actually 5 now because we closed down North Loonfeather. So I try to loop through every couple of hours and I try to give warnings, but sometimes the warnings don't take, or sometimes I have to write a ticket because people don't comply with warnings.
And I understand that you may not remember every single vehicle you see, but as far as you know, have you ever issued a ticket to this vehicle before or since?
I have not since.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Okay. All right. Okay, Ms. Forrester, as I indicated previously, that it is a chronic problem at the lake, the boat launch there, and it causes issues with other people being able to utilize it for its intended purpose. So what the court will do today is not impose a fine today, but if there's, what the court will make note on the file, if there's an additional ticket in the future, there'd be no opportunity for a break in moving forward. So it sounds like you've got the gist of it and parking in the right spot from this point forward. So I don't anticipate seeing it again, but if we do, there'd be no opportunity for a break again. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're all set. Stay safe. Okay.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, Mr. Clinton, did you have any other tickets today, or was it the only one?
I believe that this was the only one, sir.
All right. Appreciate your appearance here today. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
All right, Mr. Martin, you had Hodit, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me see if they're here. We've got another phone. Let me see who this is. Good morning. Your name, please?
Jessalyn with NCDG Realty and Property Management. We're the management company for the property at 1324 Harry.
That's on Bernstein?
Correct.
Okay. So Officer Greenwood was here earlier and indicated that he wanted to adjourn this out and wanted to give a date of July the 19th for the next court date at 11 a.m. Is that okay with you? Does that work on your calendar?
It does.
I understand there's another inspection scheduled.
Oh,
so
wait. You said
Go ahead.
July the 19th. You meant August, right?
I did indeed meet August, yes.
Okay. Wonderful. So John Collis is our broker, and he was the one that was supposed to attend this meeting, but he left for vacation yesterday. So the August date, that will want it to go back to John's email. If you could just notate something, it's the john@ncdevgroup.com. It's where it was originally sent, but this morning I called in and asked them to send it to my email address.
Okay. Yep, that's the default email we have is his, so we'll utilize that. Okay, great.
Wonderful. Okay,
All right.
so August 19th at 11 a.m. I
Correct.
appreciate your help.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Okay, let's see. So we're looking for Hodit, and I do not see anyone with that name. Okay. Phillips Lane Township versus Christian Hodit, case number 21T12520. Defendants failed to appear. Would you like a default judgment, Mr. Martin?
Say again, please.
Would you like a default judgment?
I'm not familiar with that phrase, sir.
Do you want to win because the person didn't show up?
I didn't know that was a choice for me.
Yeah, when the defendant doesn't show up, a default judgment can enter. I mean, or you could choose to dismiss the ticket if you chose to, but you can either, it's your ticket. You can either take the default judgment, meaning the person would owe the money on the ticket, or you could dismiss it if you wanted to for any reason.
So because the individual isn't here, we're going to assume that she is aware that she's not allowed to park there.
I would assume your ticket probably would have done that job, yes?
All right, then I would waive any fine.
You'll waive the fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, we'll take care of that and go from there. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gary, can you hear me?
Morning.
Good morning. Just waiting for the deputy to log in and track your ticket down again.
All right.
Deputy Soren, you there? Go ahead, Deputy Soren. I don't know if we lost him. Oh, he's checking out. He's coming in now.
Well, my mom was just asking.
I'm sorry, sir. You had a question?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. There we go. Deputy Soren, can you hear us okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. All right, Phillips Lane Township versus Leonardo Antonio Aguirre. Case number 21W001844. This citation was due on July the 9th of this year on Grove at or near Cary, cited speeding 6 to 10 miles per hour the speed limit. Deputy, are you ready to proceed this morning, or did you have a proposed resolution?
I'm ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Aguirre, you have three options available to you on a civil infraction like this. Your first option is to admit responsibility without an explanation. I would simply pay the citation and be done with it. Your second option is to admit responsibility with an explanation. The court will take the explanation into consideration if there are any mitigating factors in that explanation that may be taken into consideration with regard to fines and costs. The court, however, does not have discretion with regard to points on your license. That is a function of the Secretary of State. Or your third option is to deny responsibility. If you choose to deny responsibility, the court will then take sworn testimony both from the deputy and yourself. Based upon a preponderance, which is a standard of proof, meaning roughly 51% to either side, the court will then make a determination as to whether or not you are responsible for the civil infraction. Do you have any questions with regard to these three options?
Yeah, I had a question for number 2.
Okay, what's your question?
Can you explain that one more time?
Sure. So you can go ahead and explain what happened on that day. If there's good explanation for what's going on, that would allow the court, in other words, me, to lower your fine. However, I cannot do anything about points on your record. The Secretary of State sets points on citations. Now, you may be eligible for Secretary of State programming. If you have a good driving record, they may contact you and put you through a program to eliminate the points at a later date, but the court can't do anything about that today. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you want to proceed today?
I guess I'm gonna just go with number 2.
Okay. What happened that day, sir?
I just thought the speed limit was 45. To be honest.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's just a mistake. You didn't happen to see the speed limit signs, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. You live out that way though, right?
I live more like on Carpenter Road. I don't be over there in that area. Like, there usually be a lot of bad stuff over there, so I don't be over there, and I was just passing through.
Okay. All right. Okay. Court's taking the explanation into consideration. I see the deputy give you a bit of a break at the stop, is in addition to the break you're asking for here, but the court will reduce the fine with the idea that now you understand the speed limit out there is 35 and we won't have this problem again. I'll fine you $100. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Can you pay that online today or do you need time to pay it?
I could pay today.
Okay, so you're gonna get an email from the court shortly, probably in an hour or so, with the link to our online payment system. Once you get that email, that's your indication that we've updated our records and lowered the fine for you. And then you can go ahead and make that payment, okay?
Okay, and how much would it be, and how would I contact the Secretary of State for the points?
So the fine is $100. I've lowered it down to $100. The Secretary of State will notify you if you're eligible for their points reduction program.
All right, thank you.
So you got to make sure make sure you've got a good address on file with them so they can write you with the letter they would send. Okay.
So they just automatically send it?
Yeah, if you're eligible, they'll send you out something in the mail to tell you what you need to do.
If I have no points right now, do you think I'll be eligible?
In all likelihood, but I can't speak for the Secretary of State.
All right, thank you.
All right, sir. You have a good day. Stay safe. Okay.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Deputy Soren, do you have anything else today?
I'm sorry, what was that, Your Honor?
Did you have any other matters today, or was that the only one?
I believe that was the only one.
Let me take a quick. I agree. Have a good day.
All right, thank you. Have a good day, sir. Bye.
First time on that.
Good morning,
just close the door.
Okay.
Good morning.
You don't know? No.
Good.
Sir,
Easy.
I don't see your name on my docket. Are you here?
I'm sorry, I have the wrong name on here.
Okay.
There we go.
What?
Richard Mondella.
Thank you. Okay, let me see. I have that name. I don't have what matter are you here for? I don't have that name either.
It could be under Howard Castman. It's for transportation services of Southern Michigan.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. There it is. Okay, thank you. let me deal with Deputy Garlick. If you just want to hang where you are and mute yourself, I'll talk to you in just a minute, okay?
Sure.
All right. Morning, Deputy.
Good morning, sir.
Let me see if I can find Mr. Smith here. Mr. Smith, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, thank you for your patience. Let me grab your file here. There we go. Phillips Lane Township versus Jay Smith, case number 21W0017 05. The citation was issued on June 30th of this year on E-Course Adner Hayes civil infraction for excessive noise. All right, Deputy, are you ready to proceed, or did you have a proposed resolution this time?
I'm ready to proceed.
All right. So, Mr. Smith, you have three options available to you. The first option is to admit responsibility without an explanation. In other words, you simply want to pay the citation and be done with it. Your second option is to admit responsibility with an explanation. The court will take the explanation into consideration. If there are any mitigating factors in that explanation, that may be taken into consideration with regard to fines and costs. Or you may deny responsibility. If you choose to deny responsibility, the court will then take sworn testimony both from the deputy and yourself. And based upon a preponderance, which is a standard of proof, meaning roughly 51% either side, the court will then make a determination as to whether or not you are responsible for the civil infraction. Do you have any questions with regard to these three options?
No.
And how do you wish to proceed today?
My car's noise level is normal for that car. I went to the dealership, had it inspected.
So you,
had it certified.
Yeah. So you'd like to deny responsibility?
Correct.
Okay, I need to take care of a couple formalities for I hear your story then. Okay, so both of you please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Okay.
You swear or affirm the testimony you provide today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter before the court today.
Yes.
I do.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Smith, I'll hear from the deputy first, and I'll give you an opportunity to respond. Should there be any questions for the other party, please direct those to the court and not directly to each other. All right, deputy, you may proceed.
Good morning, Your Honor. So on the morning of June 30th, myself and another deputy were responding to a different incident. While we were at the corner of E-Course and Harris, we witnessed Mr. Smith drive by in his vehicle. He accelerated off the light. As he approached the speed limit, he released the gas and his exhaust made the popping noise. So he was fine until he released, and then we heard the pop, 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 pop as he goes up the hill. We're still dealing with the situation, so we don't acknowledge it. He comes back through a few minutes later, the same thing happens. So I pulled him over for noise ordinance violation. I told him if he wanted to dispute the ticket, he had every right to. I told him that he could go and have the exhaust system inspected, which it appears as though he did. My issue is not that it's in violation of decibel limitations for exhaust systems. What my issue is with how he operates the vehicle that causes this noise. So that popping noise, from my understanding, from my research, is from throttling hard and then releasing, and then you still have unburnt fuel that enters the exhaust system, which causes the popping noise. If he drove the vehicle without that rapid acceleration and deceleration, because he admitted I did not go over 45, which I believe he didn't, which is why we had that issue with the exhaust. When he punched it off the light, we got the pop, 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 pop as he slowed down. So my issue is with the popping noise that comes from a specific way that the vehicle is operated.
Okay. Mr. Smith?
Yeah, so we were heading back, me and my wife were heading back to the house from her OBG appointment. When I turned off the light, I accelerated at a normal rate of speed. My car, for the popping noise that she's describing, you have to have a certain tune for that. And that's called a two-steps tune. And I have proof of documents that I do not have that tune on my car to make that popping noise. Before I moved to Ypsilanti, when I was in Dearborn Heights and Taylor with this car, I tried to get it to pop, 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 like how she described it. My car will not do that. Even going to and from work, taking 94 all the way down to Jackson, my car does not pop, even if I'm going at 70 miles an hour, or if I let off the gas on the freeway or on a residential area, my car doesn't pop. Like I said, that requires a certain tune for that car. And I didn't want that tune because of the issue of my bike doing it when I'm on the track, and it's kind of like not something I want to do when I'm just going to and from places. When we got back to the house, my wife's like, "Hey, can we go to Denny's? I'm kind of hungry." I said, "Okay, yeah, that's fine." And then I turn around. That route that I take from Ecorse and Harris is a normal commute that I always take every single day since I moved over in this area. So me going back and forth, I go there every single day.
That's fine. I'm sure there's no issue with that.
So-
with you returning there. That's fine. So
But,
this,
yeah,
this WRX, that's essentially a road version of a rally car, right?
It's the rally car. It's the STI version.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And you say regardless of how you drive it, you can't make that noise. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I cannot make the noise. When I accelerated to the overpass of the freeway, I didn't go past the speed limit, the posted speed limit. When I said I didn't go past 45 was when I was coming back onto Ecorse Road to where the freeway is, leaving from my house. I was behind a truck on that one. When I seen the officers, I clearly saw them. I looked at them, and no way informed that I accelerate to cause a issue or cause like, hey, look at me and look what I'm doing. No, I accelerated to the normal rate of speed. Didn't go past 300 RPM, and I went on. And when I came back, that's when they came over. When I came back, I decelerated normal like I do every single time. No noise, anything like that. And then I was behind a white Ford Ranger, and we didn't even go up to even up to the speed limit when they pulled me over.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speed's not an issue here. I mean, other than how it may or may not have contributed to the noise. So Deputy Garlick, you said you heard that popping twice.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And no other vehicles in the area would have made that noise, as best you could tell.
No, he was the only vehicle that traveled in that direction both times we heard the popping.
Okay. All right. And that was, I mean, there's no confusing that for any other sound environmentally in the area.
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Smith, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Yes. She did reference me to go to the dealership to have the exhaust inspected. It reads as follows: customer requests exhaust system being inspected after concerns related to noise level flash rumble. No causes for concern at this time. Operating as designed. Exhaust system is intact and operating as designed. Boxer engines are designed to create natural rumble, especially STI trim model of the WRX. Technician noted that no exhaust leaks or abnormal sound output. Complete reminder of mile point inspection and had no service recommendation at this time.
Okay. Deputy, does that change your perspective at all?
As I said, he might be operating with an exhaust system that falls within normal functioning, but I feel that the way he is driving the vehicle is what's causing that popping noise.
Okay.
Can I argue that one?
Right. I know what you're going to tell me, but go ahead.
It's okay. Well, even so, like I said, that popping noise does require a tune. It's a two-step tune that you can get at either a tuner or online, and that's something I did not want on my car. My car absolutely has no popping capability whatsoever.
Okay. I assume that if I Google that, I'm going to find that out.
Yes, you can Google if you need it for a two-step. Do you need to require a tune for? Yes, you can Google that one.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Deputy?
No, Your Honor. If you like, I can send you the link that I had for the popping noise, the explanation on that.
Well, I'll just look some things up here and see what I can come up with.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Smith, are you still on Village Lane?
Yes.
All right. Let me do a little digging on this, and I'll make a determination. And it comes down to whether or not the car can or can't do it. I mean, if it can do it and the deputy heard it and it happened, yeah. I mean, if I'm convinced somehow that it can't do it, I'm still a little concerned about, how the deputy heard it. If it can't do it, that doesn't quite jive. But I'll take a look at it and see what it says about this particular model of car. And you said the trim was a S what?
The STI model.
STI trim. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let me do a quick looking around, and I'll mail you a judgment. If I find against you, you have 7 days to appeal that decision. If I find in your favor, of course, the deputy could have the township attorney appeal that decision. You'd be notified of that as well. Okay.
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 All right. Thank you both. You should be seeing something in the mail here shortly.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you.
All right. Deputy Garlic, do you have anything else today, or was it the only one?
I believe that was the only one today, sir.
All right. You have a good day. Stay safe.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Okay. Let's see what I have on here.
All right. Good morning.
Hello, Mr. Mendez. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Let me find your ticket here. All right. So you had a parking ticket. The officer issued the citation to you, was in earlier, and was willing to allow this to go forward as a warning to you. So he agreed to waive the fines, but does expect that you understand the parking situation out there is that you need to park in the dirt lot for untrailered vehicles. You got that?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're all set.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
The rest
Have a
of
good
you.
day. All right. Christian Hodet.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. I don't know if you heard everything I was telling the last gentleman, but it's all applicable to you as well. The officer who issued your ticket is willing to allow this to stay as a warning today.
Okay.
Just make sure you're parking over in the dirt lot that's intended for single vehicles rather than the boat parking lot area. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. You're all set. Stay safe. Okay.
All right, thanks.
All right. Mr. Modelo, thank you for your patience.
Absolutely.
Good. Okay, so this is run through a couple of steps already here. All right. But the officer who issued the ticket these tickets is not here today. So these are case numbers 21S 388084A and 4B. The officer is not present, so these cases will be dismissed. So you're all set. Were you clear on what needed to be fixed on these things though?
Yeah, since then we've resolved our MC number and all our authority, so we're okay there. We just a misunderstanding.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So the tickets are dismissed and you got everything fixed, so we won't see you again.